Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ranking Nintendo here on Botchfish Games. I'm your host, and I'd like to excited ADV. Joining me is the wise Wrestle Knight, Mr. Josh Martinez. Hello, good sir.
Hello. I'm loving the nickname, Ed.
Yes. I know you've been posting some clips. I think from past WrestleManias, or
I
something.
I've been doing them all. I watched this one from 2006 last night where John Cena's never been a bad guy, but he was
Mm-hmm.
a bad guy on this one because he came in front of a crowd that had all kinds of chants that were not appropriate for this podcast, and he threw his shirt into the audience and they threw it right back at him. It was crazy environment.
Oh, wow.
Is
Uh,
ECW pay per view when John Cena and Rob Van Dam, and man, that was nuts. That was a fun it was a fun atmosphere, and I don't think I've ever seen John Cena look like that. He was like not expecting that.
Oh, it's so funny. There's a podcast called um Keep It, and they was talking about last week they was talking about wrestlers who became actors. And so they mentioned John Cena, The Rock, Batista. And I gotta say, out of all of them, Batista and John Cena kind of give a run for their money for each of them. Like The Rock is good. Steve Austin, he does some low budget kind of films, but like he's not too bad in films. Uh,
Right. No,
and
so what I think is The Rock is your big draw. You put The Rock in any movie, everybody will come see it just because his name's on it. I think Batista's the better actor. He's got because The Rock's playing the same character in every movie he's in, but Batista, I mean, he's Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. He'll hop over and be in some horror movies. He'll do some other comedy stuff. Like
Mhm.
he's just very well round. And I mean, Cena's coming into his own when he played Peacemaker. Like that
Yeah.
was a unique role for him. But yeah, it's an interesting discussion because I was talking to my wife the difference between a movie star and an actor, and I think
Yeah.
The Rock is a movie star. He'll bring you in the money, but he's kind of playing the same role every time. Tom Hanks, that's an actor. He can do all kinds of role. Forrest Gump, uh, the kid in Big. He can do it all. Anyway, we're
Well,
not rating wrestlers turned actors.
we are ranking Mario Kart. This is part 3 of the ranking Nintendo series for Mario Kart. And this episode, we're going to be talking about Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart Wii. And let's get into some history for each game.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/BossRushMedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.
So, Mario Kart DS is the 5th game in the series. It was the first to use the now defunct Nintendo Wi-Fi connector. It got a Metacritic of 91. It was developed by Nintendo EAD Group Number 1. It released in North America on November 14th, 2005, Australia on November 17th, Europe on November 25th, and Japan on December 8th. It contained 12 characters: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Wario, Bowser, and the special characters were Daisy, Dry Bones, Waluigi, and Rob the Robot. It is the third best-selling game for the Nintendo DS with 23.6 million. The Grand Prix contains 8 cups, mushroom, flower, star, special, shell, banana, leaf, and lighting. Now, Mario Kart Wii is the 6th game in the series. It was developed by Nintendo EAD, and the online also used the Wi-Fi connector until May 2014. Each game contained the Wii wheel accessory where players can place their remotes in and drive wirelessly. It supported the remote and nunchuck combo, classic controller, and GameCube controller. The game has 24 characters: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Donkey Kong, Bowser, Rosalina, Dry Bones, King Boo, Diddy Kong, Yoshi, Koopa Trooper, Bowser Jr., Toadette, Wario, Waluigi, Baby Peach, Birdo, Baby Daisy, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Funky Kong, and Dry Bowser. Bikes and carts are now vehicles that you were able to choose from. It still had the same eight cuts like the Nintendo DS, um, but um, half of the tracks were brand new, and half of the tracks were from past Mario games. And this sold 37.38 million copies as of March 2021. So that is the history for Mario Kart DS and the Mario Kart Wii. And I gotta say, I was watching some footage of both games. They stopped the coin collecting in both games.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I did notice that too. And I mean, and what's interesting is they stop it, but it comes back. Like we'll talk about in the next episode, but it
Yes.
came back. So they clearly didn't like not having it, but I think I was okay without the I'm not a big fan of the coins. I know it gives you a slight
Mhm.
edge, but I didn't care that it wasn't
I
in this generation.
I never found the need for it. I mean, I always got 10 coins and I lost it. It was just like, is this trying to balance my speed? Like, and I can never tell the difference. I was just like, I visualize collecting coins in Mario Kart like I would collect coins in a platformer from the Mario series. And
Right.
like,
I
and that,
think
go ahead.
sorry, Ed, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and it felt like it didn't serve no purpose. But go ahead, Josh.
I was gonna say I think it serves a slight purpose,
Hmm.
but it's like such a small thing that it's like not worth it, because I think if you have 10 coins, like let's think of it in terms of like speed. Let's say you I think you can top out, like let's say you top out at like 50 miles per hour. I
Hmm.
think if you have 10 coins it might up you to 52 miles per hour. Like it's a very small thing that would come in to play if you and another racer were like neck and neck, and if you had more coins you're going to slightly edge them out. But it was such a small thing that I don't feel like it. I mean, I'm always disappointed when I get hit that block and I get a coin, because I'm like, great. Now I can go a fraction of a mile per hour faster. It doesn't do me any good. So I I was fine with them not being in this gen.
Yes. So, with the DS version, you were able to see the map at the bottom and race the cart at the top. Also, you were able to do local play, with the DS with one cart, and like everybody, if they had the game, they could hop on. But you all had to be connecting and stuff, and you were a ghost. You couldn't change your character or anything. You were just like unknown, who were able to race. But if you wanted like to have the characters and the tracks and stuff like there, you had to have your own cart. I remember because I had the Wi-Fi connector because I wanted to do Pokemon, and I remember putting that Wi-Fi connector in my desktop computer with a tower and everything, and playing Pokemon Wi-Fi with it. But I didn't do it with the Mario Kart. Now I will say this, because I went to a gamer meetup, my first gamer meetup, and I met some people there. Like we was all strangers and stuff. But some people knew each other and everything. But I did meet some people, and we started out playing. As being friends, we started playing Mario Kart DS. And out of them, like two of them are still my, like three of them are still my friends and stuff. But I was so cool. I was enamored by my one friend because he was a hardcore Mario Kart gamer. Like he knew everything. And of course I was losing, but I was having so much fun. It's playing Mario Kart locally around people changes the atmosphere to being fun. It's competitive but yet fun and everything.
Right. Yeah, and that was something I loved. I loved that you could do this. I believe it was if you didn't have the console, you had a Shy Guy. That was your character.
Yeah.
Like it was something. It was super minimal. But the fact that you didn't have to have the game to play along, even if you had like a very pared down version it was super cool to do that. And I remember, you know, um, when I was in high school, because this game came out, let's see, 2005. I was like in middle school, but this one, I feel like this one was around for a long time because I played
Mhm.
it for like into high school, early part of college. I think before the 3DS one came out, but I remember sitting on the couch playing with my little sister. She would have the I let her have the cartridge because she wanted to pick whoever she wanted, and I would just race a Shy Guy. But the fact that we could just sit in the same room, play together, and we didn't have to have two cartridges.
Yeah.
That was so cool to me, and we could be there in real time. Like I could, we could be trash talking, we could be laughing, having fun with it. It just was That was such a cool feature of it, and I loved that you could do that and not have to buy. I mean, Nintendo can be infamous for milking us for money, but
Yeah.
this was a case that they didn't, and I'm so glad that they didn't.
Yes. So the game did have five single player modes: Game Pre, Time Trial, Versus Battle, and Mission. And you still had 50, 100, and 150. And also there was a mirror mode that could be unlocked once you beat all of 150 and everything. Um, there had a new thing called Shine Runners, and then Shine Runners, the player must collect Shine Sprites, the object from Super Mario Sunshine. The player can attack other racers to take away a Shine Sprite from them, and races with the fewest Shine Sprites are eliminated from the game over time. If only CPU players remain, the game ends immediately, and the results are randomized. Um, Mission mode. Mario Kart DS is the first and only game in the series to offer this game mode. In mission mode, the player must complete missions, each with objectives that range from collecting coins to attacking enemies. In each mission, the player controls their pre-specific character. There are 7 levels with 8 missions in each. After completing each mission, the player's performance is given a grade of stars, 3, 2, or 1, or letters A, B, or C. After all the 8 missions in the level are complete, the player must complete a boss mission to advance the next level. Once the first 6 levels are complete and the rank of at least 1 star has been obtained on every mission, the 7th level is unlocked. Now, if you think of Shine Runners, that's kind of almost what we have like in Fortnite in a sense. You know, where you're like eliminating players over time and stuff. So the Royale games of
Right,
today. Uh, I I know I've never played those like the multiplayer stuff. I never play unless I was racing with somebody, like another human.
right. Yeah, I mean, Shine mode. I think I played it every now and then because ever since the N64, I did enjoy the battle modes where you had the balloons and you would try and shoot each other and all that. And I think this was this game's version of that, or at least a variation of it. And I mean, it was okay, but it was I did have fun doing it every now and then, but it wasn't what I came to play for. I mean, the racing's always been what I really enjoy, but the one that I thought is really cool I had totally forgotten about is that mission mode. I mean, the only other game I see that really does that, Super
Hmm.
Smash Brothers, and
Yeah.
it's what keeps me involved on a single player basis, so I don't get bored just fighting the whole time. Whether it's like the adventure mode or just the straight mission mode, like having those things. Melee had a lot of fun missions, and I think
Yes.
Melee came out in like '01. So this game came out like 4 years later. So they're probably trying to ride that success because Brawl didn't come out until 2008, 3 years after this. So this is if they're taking inspiration from Super Smash Brothers, it's Melee that they're taking it from. And I mean, I had fun with them. I don't think I ever completed all of them, but they were fun. I do enjoy missions on games. I just beat Kid Icarus Uprising on the 3DS, and they have several like a mission mode as well that you can do certain things in your levels to unlock a picture very similar to Super Smash Brothers. But yeah, I like the mission mode in this, and this was pretty fun. And but that's just my unique approach. I do enjoy doing things like that.
Now, I will say um, about Mario Kart DS, as much as I enjoyed it, it really became forgettable for me. And I'm not saying that try to be say that it's bad or anything, but I think it didn't have its hooks in me like some of the other games, and I think it's because it was on an handheld game. A handheld system, and there's something because I feel like when I play Mario Kart games, yes, I am here for fun, and Mario Kart DS is fun. But sometimes there's times I just want to relax. It's just like literally drive and don't care what place I get in. And it just felt like I think because of the control being so close and being on my hands like that, when I gotta look at the screen and everything, it just felt weird to me in a sense.
Yeah,
Not a bad game. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I totally get that because I typically, if you ask me to pick a Mario Kart game, I tend to prefer the ones on the console and on the
Mm-hmm.
TV. But for me, and I think this is where we're going to deviate a bit. This might be where we don't have lockstep agreement, Ed. But I really liked this game, and I could play this game for hours. I would relax out to it, and it might just be where I was in my life. I was in high
Uh
school.
huh.
I'd want to just go hang out in my room. I shared with my brothers, so I would just kind of go chill on my bed. Put the pillow against the wall, just propped up, and I could just play this game for like hours. And I did. Like I just this was a time in my life where I quote unquote thought I was too cool for video games. But this was a game I played religiously regardless of that. So this game really had it in me. And I think what it is about it is it's when I was watching the a YouTube video on this. This is really Mario Kart at its like essence. There's not a lot of
Yes.
gimmicks in this. There's no crazy wheel. There's no double dash. There's nothing weird. This is just Mario Kart. You race. There's minimal customization, and you just race and have fun. And that's what really stood out to me about it. And I think that might
Mm-hmm.
be because of that time period where I was at in my life. I didn't want to get into the gimmicks. I didn't want to do all this kind of stuff. I just wanted to sit down, push the A button, and go. And I also remember this: the DS didn't have a joystick. You had to do this on the D
Yes.
pad. And
Yes.
I don't know how I did it back then, but it didn't bother me. I loved it. And this one, I have very fond memories of this one. And I think it's the simplicity of it that
Mm-hmm.
really stuck it out to me.
And like I said, and I'm not knocking it. I think it was because definitely around that time with me working and going to school and stuff. It's I think when I got into Phoenix Wright and Elite Beat Agents and Hotel Dust and games like that, I think my direction in handheld gaming was changing because I was playing genres that I've never got into. I've never played a adventure game or a text game like Phoenix Wright. I never was into mysteries in games like Hotel Dust and everything because that was just stuff that wasn't on console. Like you could find it on PC, but I wasn't a PC player. And so when it came to Mario Kart, definitely while I still had my copy of Double Dash on my GameCube that I could just pop and have fun. I think it's just my gaming tastes were changing. But I was able to buy my own games. So I was at GameStop or EB Games or wherever I bought it from. I think at that time I was doing Target, buying games
Okay.
at Target and stuff. Cause I did it at Target and then I had ended up switching to Best Buy and then I just started going to different places and everything, where I could find it. So I do remember buying that game and everything. Uh and playing it for here and there, but I think it was just other games that interest me, whether it was box art or it was something that was like not so much as a Castlevania, but something that looked it kind of strange, but yet maybe fun. I was picking up. I was getting the oddity games and stuff like
Gotcha.
there.
No,
Uh,
and I think for me, when I look at this game, I don't. We didn't get it at launch. I think I got it in '06, '07, right around that time. I was in. I had started high school. I was playing high school football, so when I'd come home, I wouldn't want to like wave the Wii remote around. I didn't want to do any of that. I just wanted to, lounge,
Mhm.
kick up my feet on my bed, and just play something where I didn't have to be swinging the remote. I didn't want to have to be, doing all that stuff because I had to spend 3 hours at football practice. So this was just kind of that game that just fit right into that spot for me that I could just, get in bed, lay there for a couple hours before I had to go to bed and just, race. And so I find this interesting too, Ed, that this game seems to really how much we like it depends on where we were at in life. And
Mhm.
that's just a very and I think that's how a lot of games are, but I feel like the handheld games in particular, any handheld game, it's where you're at in life. And for me, I think this was the right game at the right time. Maybe if this one came a little bit later, it would be forgettable. But for me, it was one that it's it's always been one of my favorites of the series.
Yeah, and I don't have no problem with the tracks. I didn't have a problem with the players. I liked the way that it played. It was fun and fast, which is I think other games just took the time. But we, oh goodness, Mario Kart Wii. Okay, so I did not buy this game. I did play it because my cousin came over and she installed it in my Wii. Not installed it, but like, well, yeah, because I think it had updates or something. Whatever what was going on with it. Uh, she had the wheel. I played it with the Wiimote, and I did have my GameCube controller, so I did plug in my game controllers and play it that way. But I did try it without the wheel and everything. And this may be the worst way to play it. Not the worst Mario Kart, but the worst idea of playing this game because I was just sliding all around like I was on ice.
Yeah, this one, it's interesting because I watched it on YouTube
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh, this was like these are some great you know, as we come out of the DS one, I think this generation had some of the best courses of the series and still does to this day, both on the DS and the Wii. But this Wii version is a great game
Hmm.
stuck behind some very crappy controls. It just is so hard to get into. I mean, watching these courses, I'm like, oh, these look so much fun. But it's like, but it doesn't matter if you can't get going. If you keep sliding,
Yeah.
it's the problem that Super Mario Kart had. It's the problem that a Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance had. It's just if you can't control, you can't do well. I mean, and I don't expect something easy, but if it's too much of a challenge, then why in the world am I going to want to play this game? And that wheel was hard, and the Wii did not do a good job at creating games that you could play without like waving the remote around or whatever it
Hmm.
is, like a traditional controller. That was its downfall. It had some good games, but it could not do standard. I mean, Brawl was okay, but you had to turn the remote on its side and play the controller, which was awkward. I think that's how you had to do it on this one. It's a good game stuck behind some very bad controls.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Like the game is not bad. It was just the controls, and it's just like yes. Even though I had to play with my GameCube and everything, just to maintain it. I think it was just oversensitive, or I couldn't adjust to it. Now I will say, like I do like the nunchuck and the remote and stuff, and like turning it to the side, like playing that old NES kind of style. That's good for games like Metroid Other M or some of the virtual console stuff. Like it's good for that. But to be like this sixth gen game and it's playing like of course Nintendo knows that it's gonna be cool because everybody imagine where if I'm controlling the game kind of like with my hand and stuff, and we're doing a sword fight and they got all these ideas, I should be able to drive a car. But not everybody could play a game like that. There isn't there. I don't. If the Wii Wheel came out very early before Mario Kart, and there was a lot of driving games for people to get accustomed to, then I could see how Nintendo could learn from all those other games and then put that in Mario Kart and make it better. And don't forget, Mario Kart Wii isn't a bad game per se. As for the levels and everything, we're just talking about the gameplay because of the Wii Wheel and everything. Like it all changes once you plug in a controller. It feels
Hmm.
like normal Mario Kart. You got more control, but because you're trying to do this, don't forget, not kids can't drive actual cars. You know, playing in bumper cars is different than actually driving. You know, you don't see kids uh doing being in an actual car and stuff. Now, Power Wheels are different, but Power Wheels has a limited speed of like 10 to 15 miles per hour. So they're not like going fast and they're not, jumping over ramps and stuff and everything. So I understand going for the immersion of Mario Kart Wii. But man, that Wii Wheel, that gameplay was a mess.
Yeah, I mean, and again, where I was at in my life, I was actually learning to drive at this point, like real life driving. So combining this game with like actually learning how to drive, I'm like, well, this is what they're telling me to do in driver's ed, but it doesn't work on here. I'm like, nope, too hard. And like I said, at this time, I was in my too cool for video games phase. So I was like, no, I'm not going to play. That just wants me to do too much. The Wii was like the worst console for me to be at this time because I loved the GameCube.
Hmm.
And if they continued on that traditional model, I think I would have stayed with video games through high school. But the Wii just took me out of it. And I look back and there's some great titles, but just this game was, yeah, it was a great game, but just man, and I mean, so many of these courses have appeared on Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart 8, and they are a
Yeah.
blast to play. I mean, some one of my favorite Wario's Gold Mine is a blast, but I can't imagine trying to do that with a wheel. My wife is a crazy person and loves to do the wheel. She's
And
really good at it.
and that's the thing. Is some people have mastered the game because of the wheel, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. I, yeah, just
I don't know. It was one of those ones that just is. I don't know. I keep saying this, and I wanted to like this, and I think just watching it, I was like, this is a fun game. But then I got to
yeah.
remind myself, no, that's you're doing revisionist history. It's not that fun because of how you had to control that. I'm like watching it, it's fun, and I did enjoy watching this when my brothers or my mom would play it. But when I had to play it, I'm like, nope, nope. I'd rather watch, and that's what. It's unfortunate because the Wii was that on so many other games. Skyward Sword's an example of that. I think it worked for Mario Galaxy, the controls, but Mario Kart, Skyward Sword, I'm blanking on others, but just it was accessible while also being very inaccessible at the same time, if that
Uh,
makes
Met-
sense.
Metroid Prime 3 Corruption is a great example on how to use the remote. I like pressing the doors, moving around, like doing the first person. Like they had ideas and everything. And I think with the Wii, as I, and we got our ranking Nintendo for the Nintendo hardware stuff, so you guys can check it out and our thoughts on the Wii. I do enjoy the Wii. I still love it. It's not my favorite system like Wii U, GameCube, and Switch is, but I love that Nintendo being innovative. I definitely think out of all the systems and their designs, I think the Wii is a beautiful design system. You know, definitely at night and you see that blue light coming, or you just look, because I had the black one. Oh no, actually I had both of them. I had the black and the white one, and just putting that the system into that stand and having that nice mountain kind of curve look to it, but
Hmm.
beautiful. there are some great games on it. I don't mind the fighting in Skyward Sword. I didn't mind Mario Galaxy and stuff like that. But I think when you're playing a fast action paced game like Mario Kart, you need more control. I think if the handling was better, may be a higher ranking because we haven't ranked these two yet. We're about to get into that right now. Um,
Hmm.
but I just felt like they I just felt like this game still I would say this. I'm glad they did offer the other control mechanics to play this game instead of just having the remote and the wheel, you know,
Right.
and everything. So, any last words before we get into this ranking?
Yeah, like I mentioned, Ed, I think this game and the last one really they had some fantastic courses. I mean,
Yes.
a lot of the I look at all the going back to the DS one, you've got Waluigi's Pinball. That's a fantastic one. Luigi's Mansion with those walking trees. That was a blast. They just had a lot of fun ones. TikTok Clock, I loved that one. Airship Fortress. Um, Honestly, the DS one is the first time we really got to experience the zero get gravity
Mm,
experience prior to before we actually got to do it in eight. Like because you were doing loops on the Rainbow Road, like you would hit
yes.
that speed pad and you were doing like a loop where you're doing a corkscrew. And I remember thinking on the DS that was so cool to see that to be able to do that. And I mean, then come fast forward to Mario Kart 8, and that they're doing that all the time, and it's still just as cool. But and then going over to the Wii, um, Coconut Mall is always a popular one. Grumble Volcano was a cool one where the volcano
Yes.
erupts and like the course is falling apart as each lap goes on, the course is falling apart. Um, I think with both games, but Mario Kart Wii in particular, these courses felt alive. Things were happening. People were
Mm-hmm.
like I mean, Coconut Mall, you had the cars driving in the parking lot you had to dodge. Like I mentioned, Grumble Volcano, you're dodging like fireballs while the course is falling apart. Wario's Gold Mine had bats flying everywhere and mine carts going. These courses just felt like they were alive and that they were just doing it wasn't just like a stationary track, like you were driving through um like an actual gold mine or you're driving it around an active volcano. Like this game really captured that. And I remember watching these courses. I'm like, oh, another one I totally forgot, Koopa Cape, where you would go into the pipe and you were
Uh-huh.
underwater. Yeah, so these courses were just so good, like both of these. I think up until honestly eight, I think these two games had some of the best courses, like the most really good courses out of all the other games.
Okay. Well, Josh, it is time to rank these two games. So just to remind everybody, our ranking is number 4, Super Mario Kart, number 3, Mario Kart Super Circuit, number 2, Mario Kart 64, and number 1, Mario Kart Double Dash. All right. So, where do we want to put Mario Kart DS?
This is
I'm going to I'm going to say Mario Kart DS is probably number 3. So it's right underneath Mario Kart 64, but ahead of Mario Kart Super Circuit. I will say I had a fun time with Mario Kart DS. So I will put it there. I don't think it's better than Mario Kart 64, but I think it is better than Super Circuit.
See it. I knew this was going to be the episode where we were going to have to figure out the rankings a little bit because
Mm-hmm.
I want to put this one at number one. I really, I really like this game, and it was tough because like I said in the last episode,
mm-hmm.
I forgot how much I liked Double Dash because coming into this series, I knew Mario Kart DS was up at the top or very close to the top for me. And like part of me wants to put it 1 and another part of me wants to put it at 2, like above Mario Kart 64.
So
Just
you know what? I would agree with two. I would go with two. That's
I'm good with 2 because as I was trying to think about Mario Kart 64, I had a blast with that game, but it does not graphically, gameplay wise, there's a lot that doesn't hold up about it. And so I kind of wonder how much my nostalgia is bumping that game for me. Not that it's a bad game, but I'm like, when I ask myself, is it better than Mario Kart DS? My answer is always no, because I think my nostalgia is bumping it up, although
hmm
I still enjoy it. But Mario Kart DS, if you were to ask me next week, I would probably say that's my favorite game in the series. That one kind of fluctuates around my top three, but man, I love that game. I love the DS. I would love to see it ported somewhere because I would just that would take me back more than Mario Kart 64, I think.
okay. Now Mario Kart Wii. Where do we want to put it at? I
Uh, let's hear where you got to put it.
I I'm thinking I'm putting it at 6. I'm sorry.
Okay.
As great as those as the levels are, that controller ruins it. That that we will ruins it ruins the fun and the flow of it. And I understand they want you to stick with it and be better, but you try doing that on 150, CC, like yes, you want to play it the way that it was intended to play. Yes, you could use the controllers, but still, I'm like, it I don't want to have an accessory that came with a game that I want to enjoy for the game, but I don't want to use the accessory for. You
Well,
know.
and when they design it in a way that you're supposed to use the wheel, like that's the definitive way to play it. Like that's how
hmm
it was created to play. It's like if you go and ask somebody who plays Twilight Princess and they play it on the Wii, that's not how it was meant to be played. It was ported over so that you could play it on the Wii, but the GameCube
Yes.
at that time was the way it was designed. I mean, you could make an argument with same thing with Breath of the Wild. That was
hmm
developed for the Wii U and just happened to be a crossover with the Switch. I think when you look at Mario Kart Wii, the wheel was how they wanted you to play that game. Anything else is not the right way to play it, quote
Yeah.
unquote. I mean, there's not a wrong way to play it, but the designers were saying, well, yeah, you can play it that way, but we really would like you to use this wheel. And I think that's what that's what is just hard because so many people couldn't do the wheel. And it's like you
Yeah.
could have the best game in the world. You could have a Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but if nobody knows how to control anything on that, it's not a good game. And this one's so tough for me, Ed, because it is really low on there because of the controls, and I just have a hard time because I think, man, this game could have been so good if you just didn't screw up these controls. And again, there's some who like it. Like my wife is a big fan of the wheel, and there is a very strong group of that.
hmm I put it under Super Mario Kart is because of the gameplay. The gameplay, as much as I love the levels, I think because of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe having and some in the Mario Kart arcade, also having kind of better design levels, in my opinion. I feel like if that certainly ruins the gameplay for me, to me that kind of in a way ruins the game because I can't enjoy a game if I can't play it. If I can't play it, the not saying the way that it was intended to, but if I can't have that Nintendo quality in gameplay that Nintendo is known for, I I just can't give it anything higher than that.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and I'm okay keeping it there at number 6. My only thing where if it were my if it were just me, I might bump it up above Super Mario Kart just because of the fact that I struggled with those controls on Super Mario Kart, and I thought the courses looked ugly. But I think Mario Kart Wii was one that at least it looked good. It just I couldn't control it as well. But I'm okay putting it down there at 6 because it was like it could be the Mona Lisa. But if you can't see it or you can't play it, what does it matter how good it is? It's just locked behind it. And I guarantee I was talking to my wife about this game earlier today, and she's like, yeah, that's my favorite Mario Kart. And I think it was that if you could figure out the controls. I couldn't. So it's if it's not 6, it's definitely like 5. It's like it's right down there at the bottom, and that's where it should be because of how awful those controls were.
Yes. Well, everybody, so our ranking now is that Mario Kart Double Dash is number 1, Mario Kart DS is number 2, Mario Kart 64 is 3, Mario Kart 4 Super Circuit is number 4, Super Mario Kart is 5, and Mario Kart Wii is 6. So we have 2 more games. Our part 4 will be our last one. We'll touch a little bit about the arcades, but they're not part of the ranking. So we're going to be talking about for our next ranking, Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS and Mario Kart 8 / Deluxe for Wii U Switch. Oh, are you ready for that one, Josh?
That's going to be a weird one because of I'm kind of split on those 2 games. It was an interesting gen for it. I mean, on the one hand, you got the Wii U's greatest game of all time according to sales numbers, and then on the other hand, you got a game that'll be fun to discuss in Mario Kart 7. So, well, I'll save some of that for our next episode, but that's going to be a fun one to discuss.
Yes. Well, everybody, that's going to be it for Nintendo Power Block Expansion Pass Ranking Nintendo. Josh, I want to thank you for joining me on this episode. Everybody, our next episode will be our final one for Ranking Mario Kart. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Ranking Nintendo. Bye, everybody.
See you later.
Nintendo Expansion Pass is part of Nintendo Power Block and is a product of Boss Rush Media, LLC. The show is recorded from our headquarters in Akron, Ohio, and is hosted by me, Edward Varnell. My co-host is Corey Deary. You can find Corey at I am Corey at HD on Twitter and Instagram, as well as hosting the Boss Rush Podcast and Tower Casuals, the Destiny Podcast. Follow Expansion Pass as part of Nintendo Power Block and on all social media platforms at Power Block Podcast. You can also follow Boss Rush Media and Boss Rush Network on all major social media platforms. Join the Boss Rush Network Discord and Facebook groups to interact with other friends and fans. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.